So we discussed in this previous class that when a laser beam falls over a surface, so it can either reflect, or it can get absorbed, or it can be transmitted. So if uh, I consider alpha as the total amount of the radiation which has been absorbed, and sometimes we say it is called absorptivity, and absorptivity is nothing but how much radiations of the total radiation which has been absorbed into the material. Similarly, let not rho, but R represents reflectivity, which actually means that how much percentage of the total radiation which has been reflected. Similarly, let's say tau represents transmissivity, which actually means that how much percentage of the total radiation has been transmitted. It means it has come out from the surface. So if we sum up all these things, absorptivity plus reflectivity plus transmissivity, then sum of these three properties is equivalent to 1. Notice that these properties, the absorptivity, reflectivity, transmissivity, they are all functions of wavelength. Okay. And it also means that if we allow the stacking of different wavelengths or different lasers, the material will absorb differently. For example, uh, let's take an transparent acrylic surface. No? So in general, we used to cut it using our CO2 laser. So when we apply CO2 laser, then absorptivity is almost 95%. It means that of the total radiation we give, the material can absorb 95% of total radiation, and remaining 3-4% get reflected, does not get anything, doesn't get transmitted. Okay. This is 0. So on the same front, if we apply Nd:YAG laser, then what will happen is that the whole beam will get transmitted. It's just because the wavelength of Nd:YAG laser is 1064 nanometer, and wavelength of CO2 laser is 10.6 micron, that is 10,600 nanometers, exactly 10 times of Nd:YAG laser, which if I plot, so if Nd:YAG is like this, then CO2 is like this. Okay. So very large wavelength CO2 has, and Nd:YAG or fiber or other lower wavelength lasers, they have very small amplitude of wavelength. So that is the reason why some of the beams get absorbed and some of the beams, they don't get absorbed. Now see, these why do some of these wavelength light get absorbed in polymeric material? Most of this CO2 laser is good for most of the organic materials, okay, or most is good for most of the polymers, papers, or organic material. Even your skin. So many surgeries, they use CO2 lasers. In many human tissue surgeries, they use only CO2 laser. CO2 laser is also used for dental implants, for drilling in dental implants. So all these organic materials where combination of carbon and hydrogen is there, it is good, because in most of the polymeric material, the density is, the lattice or the atom density is not as high as in metals. In metals, uh, in polymers, the atomic structure allows a larger wavelength of the beam to get interact. But if you allow a lower wavelength of the beam, let's say this, I'm drawing lattice structure for polymer material. So when we allow a lower wavelength, so a lower wavelength will travel like this, somewhere in between the atoms it passes through. But when we allow larger wavelength like CO2 laser, it interacts, with various atomic structures and it gets absorbed. However, this is not the only theory of absorption, but this is one of the theory for absorption, because color and frequency, other things also plays very important role. But most of the time, and when let's talk about metals, in metals we know that the atomic structure is dense, okay. So even the lower wavelength lasers, they interact with those lattice structures or atoms. Of course, larger wavelength will also interact. इसका मतलब है कि CO2 laser will also work with metals, but what happens is that the photon energy does not remains very high, and that is the reason that CO2 laser, a low power CO2 laser, is not good for metals, okay. But when we give very high power, then it becomes suitable for the metals also. And why so is because uh, we know that these properties like absorptivity, reflectivity, and transmittivity, they are functions of wavelength and temperature. So at high temperature, the absorptivity of the surface also increases, okay. So आप जैसे जैसे ये temperature बढ़ाते जाएंगे, absorptivity of the radiation on the surface will also increase. So when we give a low power CO2 laser, it actually does not causes any increase in the surface temperature. But when we give a high power, then as the high power laser is incident on the surface, it increases the temperature of the surrounding zone. And as the temperature rises, the absorptivity also increases. So therefore, high power lasers can be used for metals. In fact, all the steel cutting or mild cutting industries which employ CO2 laser, high power CO2 laser of 10 kilowatts, from 1 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt is very normal in industries. And that is also the reason why, if we take the case of UV lasers, है ना, UV lasers का तो wavelength और भी कम हो गया. So UV lasers क्या करते हैं? UV laser, they can get absorbed in metals. So UV lasers, and they are good for metals as well as polymers. Now here you can ask that if this laser has so much low wavelength, how it is good for the polymers. So again, polymers have the structure like this, but at the same time, there is a bond between them. And we know that UV lasers, they don't interact, they remove the material by breaking the bonds because their photon energy is so high that they can break the bond. Okay. So when they can break the bond, they can remove or ablate the material via the action of breaking the bonds. And that is why the UV lasers are good for both metals as well as polymers. However, you must notice that UV lasers are available in the market which have very low power. You know, the power is approximately less than 10 watts. High power UV laser is very tough to make. It's because the photon energy remains so high that it can actually cause destruction of optical system inside the cavity. तो वो जो लेजर सोर्स का जो कैविटी होता है ना, जिसके अंदर लेजर जनरेट होते हैं, they are very much vulnerable to these high frequency photon, and that is why uh, UV lasers are very tough to produce in high powers. They are good for low power lasers. So now these properties, let us talk about these three properties, that is absorptivity, reflectivity, and transmissivity. These properties, they are measured over equipment called spectroscope. So a spectroscope is an equipment which can measure these properties of any material. A spectroscope is like, so there remains a plate on which we keep the material. It may be in powder form, it may be in solid form, you know, for which we have to determine the reflectivity, absorptivity, or transmissivity. And we allow the radiations to fall over this surface. These radiations, they have different wavelength. So we have a wavelength generator. So there is this light source which can generate wavelengths of different lights of different wavelength, and then they fall over this surface. And then there is a sensor which actually measures how much part is reflected or how much energy has been reflected over this surface. Then on the below side also there is a sensor which measures how much part is transmitted or how much energy has been fallen. This is nothing but a kind of energy sensor. So its temperature increases as soon as any radiation falls over this. So this, if we can measure the reflectivity and we can measure the transmissivity, then by this relation, we can determine the, by this relation, if we know what is the reflectivity, if we know what is transmissivity, we can determine how much part is absorbed. So we know that for CO2 laser, the acrylic absorbs 95%. You know? So absorptivity is 95% for acrylic. Acrylic in technical terms is also called PMMA, that is polymethyl methacrylate. Okay. So this is for CO2 laser. But if we give Nd:YAG laser or fiber laser, then acrylic has less than 1% of absorptivity. Okay. So that is how these things vary, and they can be measured So over this spectroscope. Now let's do some theoretical modeling of how this laser process actually works. So let's say there is a surface on which laser beam is incident. Which is moving in this path. This laser beam, this nozzle is moving into this path. So I'm trying to do some analytical modeling. So when a laser beam falls over a surface, you can say like this. Let's say it is falling on a surface, then as soon as it goes inside, let's say this is Z direction, the intensity of the laser beam attenuates. The original intensity of laser beam in XY direction is given by formula of I is equal to I naught e to the power minus 2 x square plus y square over w square. And let me tell you what is y. This is y and this is x and this downwards is z. Okay. So in this direction this is x and downwards is z, and w you can say it is beam radius. I is the laser intensity. So intensity, it means that it has the unit of watt per centimeter square, which is nothing but area. How much power has been incident per unit area is intensity. And I naught is maximum laser intensity. So now let's so a laser beam's energy profile is like this. Okay, it's in Gaussian shape. It means that a laser beam has largest intensity. If you see the largest intensity is at the center. Let's say I'm trying to remake it. This is the energy profile of laser beam. Okay, this is here. It is not energy. I should say power. This is a radius. Which actually means that if this is laser beam, so the intensity at the center is maximum, and as we go towards outer radius, the intensity decreases. So at the center, the intensity remains maximum, and as we go outside towards the periphery, the intensity reduces, and it reduces in a Gaussian manner. It also means that when laser beam comes out from the focusing lens and it falls over the surface, it generally falls over a surface into a circular cross section. Okay, and this is how a beam falls over. And when it falls, if you observe the cross section, you can see this kind of cutting shape. So when we do cutting and laser beam goes like this, that laser beam creates a cut surface like this only. It is because of the energy profile of the laser beam. Energy profile generally remains in Gaussian shape. We also say this is Gaussian distribution or normal distribution. So this Gaussian distribution or normal distributions are the most common kind of distribution which occur in nature. Even if you see your class or you see any other community or people, there are few who gets a lot of marks, then this intensity gets reduced. And if you try to plot marks with highest marks, you will also get this Gaussian distribution. So this is the most natural kind of distribution. Even if you see your this country, there are very few honest politicians if you are measuring the honesty, and then it goes on reduced. And if you try to compare most of the naturally occurring things, if you try to plot, they usually follow this Gaussian distribution. So this is the most common kind of distribution which occurs in the nature. And this is how also the laser beam gets generated inside the cavity, inside the optical cavity. And its distribution is given by this formula, I is equal to I naught e to the power minus 2, and which actually means that when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, look at this here. So when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, so this term becomes e to the power 0, it means 1. So I becomes I naught. And what is I naught? I naught is, we have just said that it is maximum laser intensity, and it is given by formula 2p by pi omega square. So 2p by pi omega square, pi w square. So where p is average power. Now what is average laser power? So we know that this laser beam actually comes out in this Gaussian distribution, and its power varies, at the center the power is maximum, and at the outer edges power goes to minimum. Somewhere in between there is some power, and this power is called average power. Okay. So this average power is is actually nothing but generally taken at the middle, and this technique is called full wave half maximum. Okay, FWHM. So this is a concept which is actually used for denoting how much power the laser beam has. And when we say laser beam has 30 watt power or a 60 watt laser, it means that the average power is 60 watt. Okay. But the maximum power will be at the center, the maximum intensity is 2p by pi w square. It occurs at the center where w is the radius. So this is the intensity, see, power by area, you know? So you can say what, generally we use centimeter for area, and what centimeter square is used. So this was the distribution in x and y direction. Okay, in z direction, uh, the formula goes like this: I is equal to I naught e to the power minus mu z, which means that if, let's say, there is any substance and laser beam is striking over this, then in this substance the laser beam falls and it attenuates, you know, it means that the intensity reduces inside the surface in z direction, and it follows this equation where mu is called attenuation coefficient. Sometimes it is also called absorption coefficient. Which actually is a property of the material on which laser beam is striking. So in some case, this remains very high, a lot of part of the beam gets absorbed, or it attenuates very sharply. जैसे ज़्यादातर metals में क्या होता है कि this attenuation coefficient or absorption coefficient remains very high, so high that within the depth of 500 micron the whole laser beam gets absorbed. तो इस 500 माइक्रोन के अंदर ही सारे लेजर बीम की इंटेंसिटी लगभग जीरो पे आ जाती है. सो दिस एक्चुअली डिफाइंस व्हाट इज द रेट of attenuation of laser beam. Okay, so larger is this value, larger is the attenuation of the laser beam. Now let's do some we were talking about analytical modeling. So if, let's say, laser beam is striking over this surface, and it is following this path, then a part of this laser beam energy will get absorbed, you know, and a part of this beam energy will get reflected. I'm just considering that transmissivity is zero. Okay, इसका मतलब है कि no part of this laser beam is being transmitted. So I'm just considering absorptivity and reflectivity. Why I'm considering this? Because I'm just trying to do modeling for CO2 laser for acrylic, you know, for PMMA, and it was found experimentally that when a CO2 laser interacts with PMMA or acrylic, the transmissivity is zero. Now part of this laser beam gets absorbed and part of this gets reflected. Even if you want to consider transmissivity, you can also consider, because we will, if you will see that we will just ignore all these things. So when we give some energy, how much energy gets absorbed? So I'm just writing how much energy is in joule. Okay, so how much energy get absorbed? So we can say, let alpha is the absorptivity, है ना? Alpha is the it denotes the total percentage of laser beam which has been absorbed in the material, and I naught is the maximum power So this term denotes intensity, I naught e to the power minus 2 x square plus y square by w square. This is the intensity, you know, intensity at any x and y. And if we multiply alpha, it means that the absorbed intensity, you know. So this term represents absorbed intensity, and because we are trying to find out total energy, so intensity must be multiplied by area. What is this area? This is this area, okay, the beam spot. So it becomes power, you know, power means watt, and it when we multiply the power, which is nothing but joule per second, you know, power is joule per second, then we must have to multiply it by the second in order to get the joule. So let's say this is delta x and u is the scanning speed. What is delta x? Delta x is this distance, okay. You see, this was the x direction, if you remember. तो यहाँ से यहाँ तक delta x है and u is the cutting speed, okay. Or sometimes also called scanning speed. So delta x is in meter and this is meter per second. तो इसका unit हो जाएगा second, which is a time unit. So when we do this, we will get how much energy has been absorbed into the surface. So this is the energy which has been absorbed of the total incident radiation, and let's say all this absorbed energy is actually utilized to remove the material. जितना भी एनर्जी आपने दिया है वो सारी एनर्जी मटेरियल को वेपोराइज करने में अगर लग जाती है, तो हाउ मच एनर्जी इज रिक्वायर्ड टू वेपोराइज द मटेरियल? Energy of vaporization, and if you remember it from the basic thermodynamics or heat transfer courses, enthalpy, we say enthalpy is a term, I don't know if you remember, energy, enthalpy is the total energy which is required to vaporize certain amount of material, and इसको ऐसे भी लिखते हैं mcp delta m cp delta t plus latent heat. I hope you remember this expression. So mcp delta t plus latent heat is, it means cp is the specific heat and delta t is the temperature difference required, and HL is the latent heat. Then the enthalpy is the total energy, and it is given by this expression cp delta t plus HL. And we are considering these two terms because all the energy which has been absorbed has been used in vaporizing certain amount of material. And if I equate both these two equations and then do further some integration, you see delta x is here, so we need to do differentiation with respect to x, then we can get a final value. I'm just omitting the integration process, which is more mathematical and it may be a bit tough for you, but I'm just writing the final expression. If we just compare these two equations, we will get Z is equal to alpha by rho Cp delta T plus HL under root 2 by pi omega square into P by U. तो P इज द एवरेज लेजर पावर। तो अगर आप किसी लेजर बीम से एक पावर P दे रहे हैं ना, जो आप मशीन पे सेट कर सकते हैं, और स्कैनिंग स्पीड U दे रहे हैं, और उसका बीम रेडियस जो है वो यहाँ पे W है, तो Z जो है वो मैक्सिमम डेप्थ वो क्रिएट करेगा इनसाइड द मटेरियल। सो ये Z है ना, ये जो मैक्सिमम डेप्थ है ये है Z। तो अगर आपको डेप्थ ऑफ कट जानना है, सो Z इज नथिंग बट डेप्थ ऑफ कट एट द सेंटर। तो यहाँ पे देखिए Z की वैल्यू, Z टर्म M से आया है ना, M इज द टोटल मास। तो M जो है वो टोटल मास जो है वो डेंसिटी इनटू वॉल्यूम करते हैं तो टोटल मास आ जाता है। तो रो इज डेंसिटी। ओके, तो रो इज द डेंसिटी। और I hope this equation is clear to you. If we give some power P, scanning speed U, and these are the material properties, these are the thermal properties of the material, then you can get this much amount of depth. So this is all about the analytical modeling, and you must note that this modeling is true for those material where the material removal takes place by the process of thermal cycle or heat cycle. It means that total energy we have given over the surface is actually utilized in vaporizing certain mass of the material, है ना। यहाँ पे बॉन्ड ब्रेकिंग जैसा कुछ भी नहीं है, और सारा एनर्जी जो भी मटेरियल ने एब्जॉर्ब किया है वो सारा ही वेपोराइज करने में यूज हो जाता है। और ये भी एक एजम्पशन आप मान सकते हैं कि जो लेज़र बीम का है वो सर्कुलर है। नॉर्मली ये सर्कुलर नहीं होता बल्कि थोड़ा सा एलिप्टिकल होता है, बट वी हैव जस्ट कंसीडर इट सर्कुलर सो दैट वी कैन यूज दिस टर्म पाई आर स्क्वायर। ओके, एंड वी हैव आल्सो एज्यूम दैट इट इज परफेक्टली फॉलोइंग दिस गॉसियन नॉर्म, है ना। ये आई नॉट ई टू द माइनस टू, ये इट इज अ परफेक्ट गॉसियन इक्वेशन। हाउएवर द लेजर बीम डज नॉट रिमेन्स गॉसियन सो मच परफेक्टली। तो थोड़ा बहुत ये गॉसियन से डेविएट करती है, और उसके लिए एक टर्म हम लोग जनरली यूज करते हैं विच इज कॉल्ड एम स्क्वायर वैल्यू, है ना। तो एक लेजर बीम जितनी भी परफेक्ट गॉसियन होती है तो एम स्क्वायर 1 हो जाता है, और गॉसियन से जितनी भी डिफ्रेंशिएट करती है, डेविएट करती है, तो उसकी वैल्यू एम स्क्वायर के हिसाब से चेंज हो जाती है। So you can use this equation in your practical life also, and when you are going to cut a acrylic piece and you want to cut 10 mm of acrylic, let's say, है ना, तो Z की वैल्यू यहाँ पे 10 mm अगर हो गई, तो अगर आप लेट्स से 50 वाट की पावर दे रहे हैं तो आपको कटिंग स्पीड कितनी रखनी है वो आपको यहाँ से इस इक्वेशन से मिल जाए। यू नीड टू डिटरमाइन U, which is cutting speed, and you are giving 50 watt of power, and you know the value of all these thermal properties, okay, and this beam property, then you can determine how much scanning speed is required for cutting of acrylic. Now, this is the last part of this laser material processing. In lasers, the cutting quality is very important, you know. So I must try ways to improve cutting quality. So As we know that in most of the cases, laser beam removes the material or vaporizes by the process of thermal cycle. So there is a lot of heat, okay, and thermal cycle is this heat is actually accompanied by heat affected zone, formation of heat affected zone, formation of Charles, melts, melt, resolidified surface. Okay. And bursts. All these things actually make the surface quality poor. So in order to improve this surface finish, there are certain ways which are available in the text and by which we can improve this surface quality. So one way to improve the surface quality is by using defocus cutting. So when we say defocus cutting, if you remember, the laser beam is like this, and it actually gets focused on a surface ना, जब यहाँ से लेज़र बीम पड़ती है लेज़र बीम और फिर जैसे जैसे ये नीचे आती जाती है ये फिर से डीफोकस होती है तो इसका शेप ऐसा हो जाता है ना? अगर आप इसको अलाउ करें किसी भी सरफेस से ये बीच में ना टकराए तो लेज़र बीम आती है ऐसे फोकस होती है और फिर से यहाँ पे डाइवर्ज हो जाती है तो यहाँ तक इसको बोलते हैं क्या कन्वर्जिंग सेक्शन एंड दिस इज डाइवर्ज. तो देखिए यहाँ पे जो बीम का रेडियस है वो सबसे कम है और जैसे जैसे ये नीचे जाता है दिस डायमीटर इंक्रीजेस है ना. तो यहाँ पे इंटेंसिटी इसलिए लेजर बीम की इंटेंसिटी इस पॉइंट पे सबसे ज्यादा हो जाती है बिकॉज द डायमीटर इज मिनिमम. सो इफ आई कंपेयर दिस टू laser beam in focused state is like this. In defocused state, the intensity is like this. Notice this area is larger, है ना? The beam diameter becomes large. And the energy distribution is not as sharp as it was in focus state. So when the energy distribution is actually distributed homogeneously over a surface and not pointed towards a point, it means that the equal amount of energy is received by most of the surface. तो अगर आप देखें तो अगर फोकस्ड से कुछ इस तरह का कटिंग प्रोफाइल आपको मिल रहा है तो जो डी फोकस होगा उससे जो कटिंग प्रोफाइल आपको मिलेगा वो कुछ इस तरह का होगा. This is a cutting profile in defocused state. और यहाँ पे सरफेस क्वालिटी क्यों इम्प्रूव कर जाती है यहाँ पे देखिए इट हैज़ ए लॉट ऑफ एनर्जी एट दी सेंटर है ना. तो जहाँ पे इंटेंसिटी ज़्यादा है वहाँ पे तो ये लेज़र बीम कट कर देता है. अब यहाँ पे उसको बहुत सारी एनर्जी मिल जाती है जिससे कि वो सरफेस को मेल्ट कर देता है. इट हैज़ नॉट so much energy to cut but it has a lot of energy to melt. अगर आप मानिए कि I'm just trying to go for the new page. So this is called the focused state and this is for the defocused cutting profile for defocus. अगर मानिए कि अगर ये इंटेंसिटी जो है ना, दिस इज इंटेंसिटी, एंड दिस इज बीम रेडियस, तो ये इंटेंसिटी जो है, अगर दिस इज कटिंग थ्रेशोल्ड, इसका मतलब है कि अगर इस इंटेंसिटी इस रेंज से ज़्यादा हो गई तो मटेरियल को कट कर देगा, और अगर इससे कम है तो वो कट नहीं करेगा, बट ये सारी एनर्जी मटेरियल को हीट करने में वेस्ट चली जाती है, हीट करने में या मेल्ट करने में, है ना। और इंटेंसिटी अगर इस रेंज से ज़्यादा होती है तो ही मटेरियल कट होता है। तो यहाँ पे देखिए फोकस में क्या है कि a lot ऑफ एनर्जी जो है वो उसको कट करने में चली जाती है ना। ये इंटेंसिटी कटिंग इंटेंसिटी वाले थ्रेशोल्ड से बहुत ही ज़्यादा है, और बहुत थोड़ी सी एनर्जी ऐसी है जो वहाँ पे यूज़ होती है उसको मेल्ट करने में। लेकिन when you see this defocused cut profile, a lot of energy is actually used uh, in melting the surface only, and this melting actually causes a lot of liquid to form, you know, and this defocus cutting is accompanied by melting, and when a lot of melting occurs the surface finish improves, क्योंकि वो ग्रेविटी के कारण वो जब मेल्ट होता है तो वो नीचे की हो जाता है, और उसके कारण वो सरफेस फिनिश जो है वो सरफेस की इम्प्रूव हो जाती है। बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर ये फोकस लेजर बीम है तो ये अगर 10 mm काटता है तो डी फोकस जो है वो 5 mm की थिकनेस ही एक्रिलिक काट पाएगा, क्योंकि इसकी इंटेंसिटी या टोटल पावर जो है वो लार्जर अमाउंट ऑफ बीम रेडियस में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाता है। तो दिस इज वन disadvantage, but if you want to improve the surface quality you should use defocus. The another one is multi pass cutting, है ना। एक तो कटिंग, एक तो टेक्निक हो गई डीफोकस, एंड सेकेंड टेक्निक इज मल्टी पास कटिंग। तो मल्टी पास कटिंग का मतलब है कि हम लोग जब कट करते हैं तो एक पास में नहीं करते बल्कि बार बार कई पास यूज करते हैं। तो इसके कारण भी क्या होता है कि जब आप एक ही सरफेस पे बार बार लेजर बीम को लेके जाते हैं तो आपको हर पास में कम एनर्जी देनी पड़ेगी ना। ईच पास हैज लेस एनर्जी व्हेन कंपेयर टू सिंगल पास कटिंग। और जब लेस एनर्जी देते हैं तो इसका मतलब है कि हीट से रिलेटेड डिफेक्ट्स भी कम होंगे। तो जब आप बहुत कम एनर्जी दे रहे हैं तो उसके कारण हीट अफेक्टेड जोन भी कम हो जाएगा, बाकी हीट से रिलेटेड जितने भी डिफेक्ट्स हैं वो सब कम हो जाएंगे। इसलिए मल्टीपास टेक्निक भी हीट से रिलेटेड डिफेक्ट्स को कम करने में सहायता करती है। सो देयर आर two commonly used techniques available in order to improve the cut quality, that is defocus cutting and multi-pass cutting. So this is all for now. Do you have any questions? Does anyone has any question? So I'm just ending for today's class, and I have also the laser beam processing has been completed. So I'm just ending this meeting for all. Thank you.